Even with a fairly slow episode, Ahiru no Sora, still a good show. What's up, y'all? It's your man, That Dude, bringing you guys another video. So after episode 37, when we have a lot of setup that's really important for the team going forward and where the direction this show is going to take, episode 38 was even slower in that there's not much happening in this episode. This episode doesn't have a lot of setup, a lot of dialogue, a lot of characters talking, but not a lot of stuff that's actually going to affect much of the plot going forward. But I don't really mean that in a bad way. This is kind of like a character building episode. We get to see the first half of the episode is very much centered around Madoka and her like recovering from being rejected by Momoharu. And so it's just her talking to friends, going out to karaoke bar, meet some guys that she judges kind of harshly at the beginning, but comes to find out these guys are fairly decent when they come back and help her find her lost earring, and it's raining and it's nighttime, but they still come back to help her out. From there, we learn that the team is being forced to practice at a public gym because, since of course the team was disbanded, they can't use the gym at the high school anymore. So they're having to come together and like pool their money together to pay for time at a public gym, and they're having to share the court because, of course, it's a public gym, so everybody in the city can come use it. So they don't have their gym to themselves, and they're kind of embarrassed from having to practice with all these people around, but it's what they have to do to get time in on the court because they can't use the school gym. Then we get to Kenji, and Kenji being Kenji, he's still upset with the guys for getting the team disbanded, so he's trying to work, he's working out on his own. I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with his character coming back from that, because he has to come back to the team. He said he's committed to the team, so he has to come back and forgive the guys at some point. They have to have some kind of resolution, some kind of coming together moment. Something has to happen between the team and Kenji, because he can't just be on his own training. He has to come back with the team to build some camaraderie, to build some chemistry with everybody else. Because as good as Kenji is, he can't carry the team by himself. And that's something he's really kind of having to come to terms with, is that he is a great individual player, but he's not the best player in Japan. We saw when he got beat by the kid from Toho, where the kid came in, the kid that played in America came in and just embarrassed him. So we know Kenji's not like all powerful on the court. He can be beaten. He's not supremely talented. He's just the most talented player for Kuzu High, and he knows he's the most talented player, and he's trying to take that burden on himself. He has to come to terms with the fact that it's more important for the growth of the team than it is for him to become a better player. The team needs to grow with him, not just him become better. So he has to figure that out eventually. He's gonna have to come around at some point. The last half or fourth of the episode, we get to see Sora and Nanao. I think it's how I say Nanao. You know what I'm talking about. They're going to watch the team that they're going to have to play in their practice match, basically for the survival of the team. So they're going to train. They're going a couple hours away to go watch this team. And we get to see that the team is playing against, forgive me for not remembering the name of this team, it's the first team that they played against the practice match, with the big strong guy who can dunk and the crafty point guard who's like really like a pretty boy. I can't remember the guy's name. That team. There'll be a picture of him over here or there somewhere. So they watch those teams play together, and I really like what this show's starting to do, because what it's doing is giving a lot more screen time to the other teams that Kuzuhaya might have to play, or maybe not even play, just teams in general in their region and in Japan. And it really gives the show a more grounded and realistic feel, because the show has to give time to other schools and other teams and other individual players. Otherwise, it's just like a villain of the week type setup where, hey, Kuzuhaya plays this team this week, or they play that team the other week, and it's just enemy beat them. No, you have to give some kind of groundedness to the teams they play. You have to make those teams feel real. You have to make those players feel real. You have to give stakes to those teams and those players, so that when the Kuzuhaya plays them, it ultimately makes the games that much more impactful, because we know those other teams have their own trials and tribulations. They have their own obstacles they have to overcome. They have their own hard work and training, that kind of stuff. And we get to see that. We don't just hear about it, we get to see that aspect of them. So we know that when it comes time for the schools to play, that, hey, this game actually is meaningful. Like there's some really big stakes here, because I like that the show does a really good job of doing that. We get to see more and more what other schools go through and how the other schools are structured and what their team dynamics are. And I got to give kudos to the show for taking time to do that. As far as episode 38, that's really all there is to talk about. This is a fairly slow episode, but I want to really say it's not a bad episode. It's slow, there's a lot of setup, but not bad. It's a worthwhile watch. You get some nice character building, especially with Madoka. Like, just that first half of the episode, I enjoyed. It was nice to get an episode where that talks about her a lot more, because she's a character that's always been around, but we don't get a lot of exploration of her character, and we got some in this episode. So that made me happy. We obviously see that the next episode is going to be about the game between the two teams. I can't give me a picture. But we get to see that, and so it's more about Sora and Nanao scouting out what their opponent's going to be like. So I'm excited for that. So that's really all there is to talk about this episode, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.